What's going on, everyone? Gilman back with another video today on the wealth side of things again, and I've done this once this week, but we're going to be taking a look at the Tesla stock. So going into Battery Day, where we expect a lot of exciting news coming out of Tesla, people are wondering, should they buy Tesla stock? Is now the time to buy Tesla stock going into Battery Day? And again, while I can't really answer that question with a yes or no, what I can do is kind of share what I see with the stock, the goods and the bads, and then, based on that, you can make your decision on whether you think now is a good time to buy Tesla or whether you think that you should wait. So, getting right into it, what we see here is taking a look at the 5-day chart, right? So we saw Tesla starting the week in the 370s, right, and moving up really a lot in the first 2 days, right? Almost a $90 jump. And again, these are all post-stock split prices. So if you want the pre-stock split prices, we could just 5x any of these numbers. So this would have been around 1800, so on. Now, this was a great week for Tesla, right? I just did a video on Apple. Feel free to check that one out if you're interested in Apple. But Apple's chart was kind of opposite, right? We started pretty high and then it was a downtrend from there. With Tesla, though, on the other hand, it was, drawing a line from 373 all the way to 442. It's generally an uptrend, which is great news and sort of expected as we are approaching Battery Day, right? Battery Day is this upcoming Tuesday in just a couple of days here. And, leading into that, with all the excitement and the anticipation and everything going on with that, there's a lot of hype around Tesla, if you will. And so I think that's a big reason why that's sort of driving, a lot of excitement into Tesla, excuse me. Now, what we see here is, Tesla had a level of $70 that was reached during the pandemic. With the initial drop, we saw a drop down to $70. But, then we see that going all the way up to 500, right? This run here was insane, which happened right after Tesla announced that they were going to do a 5-for-1 stock split. The stock ran up from being under 300, which is 1500 pre-stock split price, all the way up to $500, right? So at pre-stock split price, it ran up almost $1,000. Which is insane, again, for a company the size of Tesla that's already, as valuable as it is, if you will, right? Tesla's not a small cap company. To go up from, to basically increase in value that much in that short of a period of time. Kind of a similar thing happened with Apple when the stock split was announced, a lot of the hype with that. With Tesla, though, we can kind of see it went from 70 all the way to 502, and even today it's trading at 442, today being, the last market day closing, and then after market it went to 449.50, let's just say 450, right? That times 5 is $2,250, right? That's a really good return on your money if you had Tesla stock at the lowest point of the pandemic, or even if you had Tesla stock, at the beginning of the year when it was trading at $88, right? You're almost multiplying your money between 5 and 6 times what you paid, and the year isn't even over yet. So why is there such a hype around Tesla? Now, taking a look at some of it here, right? So Battery Day is coming up in a couple of days. Like I said, what exactly is Battery Day? So there is a lot going on in terms of, their excitement around their battery capacity, right? So they could unveil something that, they have a manufacturing system for their battery capacity, improved cell chemistry. I don't know how batteries work too much, but it sounds like a lot of exciting news. And then the last thing is, so with any new technology, right, there's always a cost curve. It has to be very expensive at the beginning, and then we find more ways to make it efficient, driving the price of that down. And it is likely that Tesla has sort of done that with the batteries, right? So as you know, electric cars need to have a lot bigger batteries than normal cars because that's where they store all their energy and run off of. And if their costs are increasing at a greater rate, that could indicate greater profitability for Tesla. Now, one thing that I do want to say here is just a couple weeks ago now, we saw the steepest drop that Tesla has had, which was about 34%. So going back to my graph, going from here, which was on September 1st, to the low point, which was on September 8th. So in a week, Tesla lost a third of its value, right? That's insane. A company the size of Tesla, if you put in $100, every $100 you put into Tesla, you lost $33, $34, right? Which is kind of crazy. And if you invested again at that low point, if you're someone that bought in at the the low 330s or around that level, you're at 442 again. So for every share you bought at 330s, in, let's see, 9/8 to 9/19, in 10 or 11 days, you're now making $110 a share, right? So Tesla is volatile right now because there's a lot going on with the stock. There's a lot of hype with the stock. But that being said, we're at almost 450 right now. The highest it's ever reached is 502.49. So we're talking about a $52, I guess, range before you hit kind of the highest Tesla has ever been. On the other hand, just a couple weeks ago, we were visiting the 330 level, which offers a $110 loss per share. The reason I say all this is I don't know if this is, the company being overextended, right? Or if it's, actual valuation. I personally think that Tesla hasn't really done anything crazy enough to justify its valuation going up 6x in this year. Again, I'm not a pessimist. I love what Tesla's doing. I follow the stock very closely, but I just want you guys to be careful when you think of investing in the stock. Taking a look at, some of the moving averages, if that's, of interest to you guys, we're again going above the 20-day moving average. So one thing that I can kind of, that's a good sign, is when it dropped perfectly at the 50-day moving average on the daily chart, it found support. Is that a coincidence? Maybe, right? I'm not saying that it perfectly bounced off of that, but look at that, right? The moving average line that day was 329.63. The low of that day that we see on this candle here was 329. Look at that. It perfectly hit that and bounced back up, right? And then the second time it came back down, it bounced off of this level. It bounced off of the 20-day moving average level, right? That's great news. That means Tesla has support. But is that support going to hold up? So there were kind of three things that were holding Tesla in the hype with Tesla. The first one being the stock split announcement, right? This run up that we see here, right, in a matter of between the 11th and 31st, so in 20 days for both Tesla and Apple, is when they announced their stock split, right? The second thing was S&P inclusion, which ended up not happening, right? And then following this, there were huge drops. And the third catalyst being Battery Day, right? So the stock split's done, the hype around that's gone. The S&P inclusion didn't happen, so the hype around that potentially happening is gone. And the reason why that was a big deal is because when it gets included into the S&P 500, it's great for the company because the S&P, they add companies and take out companies based on what they think more accurately reflects the market. And with Tesla posting another profitable quarter, a lot of people were sort of expecting it to now make it in the index. And once it does make it in the index, then a lot of companies running those indexes have to buy Tesla to keep in their portfolio to then track the portfolio prices. So that's a great, buying influx, if you will, which can drive the stock price up. So the anticipation of that increase the stock price. So the first one being the stock split, the second one being this S&P inclusion that didn't happen, and the third one being Battery Day. Battery Day is in 2 days. Now, it could be possible that we hear crazy things about Battery Day, or during Battery Day, that continue the stock trajectory up. But the other thing is, maybe we are hyping up Battery Day to be more than it ends up being. Or maybe Battery Day is going to be Elon Musk telling us, hey, we know we can do this, but we can do this 5 years from now, 2 years from now, right? And then what happens, right? Does the hype stay for another 2 years? Probably not, right? So that's why I just, I want you guys to be careful. It's now, you know, also above its 20-day moving average line, which it could very easily visit like it did here, right? So if we take a look at here, it went up on the 15th, up on the 16th, came back and tested it on the 17th, and then the 18th it went up again. So maybe it tests that. I'm not saying it tests it now or Monday or Tuesday for battery day, but maybe it tests it right after, right? What happens when the hype dies? That's the question that we need the answers to before we can figure out whether this is a good time to buy Tesla or not. Now, maybe you don't buy and maybe Tesla skyrockets after battery day, right? That's a scenario that you have to be mentally prepared for. The question is whether or not that level will hold. The other thing is maybe you buy into the hype right now, and with battery day gone, the catalyst is gone, right? And so then we're looking at kind of the hype dying. And when the hype dies, what is the downside? Could it be another 33% drop? I hope not, right? But if battery day doesn't end up being what people are expecting it to be, it could be a possibility. So, you know, with that, I really hope you found a lot of this helpful. Basically, I just want you to be careful if you are investing in Tesla and not to just buy the hype, and especially at these, I'm not going to say all-time high levels, but I still think it's a little bit extended levels, because I don't want you to think that, you know, the hype is the reason you buy it, and then, you know, maybe the stock drops again, and then this time, instead of rebounding in a matter of 10 or 11 days back to, you know, close to like an 18 or 20% increase in that short of a time, maybe now this time it takes like the normal trajectory of a large company like Tesla, which could be a year or 2 years or so on. So with that, that's all I had for you today. If you like, please subscribe down below. I try to do videos like this pretty often now, and your subscribe really means a lot to us. Your like means a lot to us as well. And if you want to drop a comment down below on your thoughts, again, this was all just stuff that I wanted to share, right? If you don't agree with it, and it's your money that you're investing, if you do agree with it and you want to be a little bit patient and kind of see what happens, knowing that, you know, it could go either way. You could potentially not lose a lot of money, or you could have made a lot of money that you're not going to make because you're not in the stock. But you know, kind of weigh both sides and kind of see where you want to go. With that, that's all I had for you today. We hope that you enjoyed. Let's be a bit better every single day, and until next time.